Hello? Beep, beep, beep. Welcome to the court of the Edijester. How are we, everybody? It's good to be speaking to you once again. It's 4 o'clock in the morning or something silly like that. Couldn't sleep. One of those nights. You get them, I get them, we all get them. Now, March. Become a warrior teacher. There's only a week and a half or so to go for you to sign up for the latest cohort. We'd be really pleased to have you on board with us and hope that you will join. So become a warrior teacher. Links in the doobers as usual. Buy me a coffee, the usual stuff. Where's spring? I'm not going to stop saying this now until it bloody well arrives. I looked out the window this morning. It's wet and damp and it's like, come on. I feel like the sun's been absent from this land too long. So 3 things came across my, what do you want to call it? Vision. My field of vision was invaded by 3 things which are part of the transgender nuttery, the lunacy that does continueth, right? And so they just all seem to come together. Confluence, that's the word, isn't it? There was a confluence of memes and mimetic imagery, along with an article which I came across on something called Intelligencer, although when you read the article you might find that a bit hard to believe, from a bloke called Andrea Long-Chu, right, okay, who's a bit of a high priestess type character. High priest, thinks they're a high priestess. They're actually a high priest of the Church of Gender and the lunatic nature of the cult. So I thought, here we go, something a little bit different here. And then the other 2 things popped up. So I got a video of that Alok maiden numpty nuts, whatever his name is. He's such a twerp. Such a twerp. Have a look at the video. We'll do that in a bit, all right? So we'll have a look at the video in a bit. See what he's got to say, but we'll deal with this first. And then finally, I've got a sign from a university in Canada that's worth having a look at, so I'll put an image of that up so you can see that too. Right? Not yet. You may notice we have an addition to the Jester's room. I'm calling him Clark. Clark the Fern. It's not a fern. What is it, a palm, isn't it? I don't know. It's just a plant. So let's begin with this article from Intelligencer, which I'll put the links in the doobers for you to see. So let's have a look at what's being said. I'm not going to go through the whole damn thing. You could have a read of it yourself. But there's some of it that's just a few things that I want to point out that are in the article. After railing against J.K. Rowling and praising Judith Butler and all the usual cobblers, we get to the meat and potatoes of what this individual has to say. The public increasingly believes that what the kids call gender is really just trouble. Yep, absolutely right. Spot on. Well done. I'm glad you noticed. Right? It's actually just trouble. Depression, anxiety, autism, family dysfunction, peer pressure, or social media, any of which, not to mention the universal awkwardness of puberty itself, are better explanations for why a child might question their identity. So this individual is steeped in the world of identity and all that nonsense. Identity is immaterial. People keep talking about how go you are. Identity is immaterial. Nobody cares about your identity because your identity isn't yours. Your identity is decided by us. So identity just needs to be, you've got a personality which you can make into a character if you work hard enough at it and don't listen to idiots like Long Chew, right? So they're saying that we recognise that there's a problem with comorbidities and there's a problem with all sorts of things, but those explanations are really not better because we're just choosing those because we're anti these people, which of course I most certainly am. The left must reckon with its part in this. The left. It has hung trans rights on the thin peg of gender identity, right? No, we didn't do that. You did. A concept clumsily adapted from psychiatry. No, it didn't come from psychiatry, it came from sexology. Get your facts right. And strongly influenced by both gender studies and the born this way tactics of the campaign for marriage equality. Forced teaming there, nothing to do with it. This is one as modest gains at the level of social acceptance. You're nothing to do with it. You were nothing to do with the concept of marriage for gay people because they are, essentially, it's an immutable characteristic. You had nothing to do with it, mate. Nothing. Forced teaming before we begin. So it says here, we have largely failed. You and your gender nuts have largely failed to form a coherent moral account of why someone's gender identity should justify the actual biological interventions that make up gender-affirming care. Because there isn't one. Coherent moral... There is no moral argument, you Cartesian dualism-believing cultist nonsense merchant. There isn't one. There is no moral case to be made. But nevertheless, Andrea Bong Chu, Long Poo, Long Chu is going to have a go. Aren't you, mate? Aren't you? Right, so... If gender really is an all-encompassing structure of social norms that produces the illusion of sex, critics ask, why would the affirmation of someone's gender identity entail a change to their biology? Yeah. If it's all about social constructs, why do you need to change your body? That's a question you can't get past, but they're going to have a go, aren't you? This bloke, right? So... As a result, advocates have fallen back on the clinical diagnosis of gender dysphoria, which of course is not known until about a decade ago as gender identity disorder. Yeah, and before that, body dysmorphia. So actually, no. Sorry, right? No, not happening. The idea that trans people, no such thing. I said it before, say it again. What do you mean? Trans is a collective noun, carrots, or, let's do something unusual. Pak choi. We'll do pak choi for Long Poo. Poo, chew, right? The idea that trans people fundamentally suffer from a mental illness has long been used by psychiatrists to decide who qualifies for trans-related care and who does not. There is no question whatsoever that if you want to cut off your meat and two veg, and you believe that you're something other than your body, you are ill. End of story. You're just as cuckoo as a bloke who thinks he's Napoleon, right? Or Caesar. Hail Caesar. Infamy. They've all got it in for me, right? You're ill. It's not difficult. By insisting on the medical validity of the diagnosis, progressives have reduced the question of justice to a question of who has the appropriate disease. No, they haven't. They're saying, unwell. Sort yourself out. We know about the comorbidities, which you've already tried to deny in the original part of your article. So here we go. Here it comes, right? In doing so, they have given the anti-trans movement a powerful tool for systematically pathologizing trans kids. There are no trans kids, you wicked, sick man. There are no trans kids. It seems to me that this is a fear, i.e. the idea of trans being a mental illness and everything else that comes with it. To confront the reality of biological sex is not by definition to swear fealty to that reality. No, it is a reality. End of story. It's not that reality, it's the reality. No one knows better than a child who wishes to have their biological sex changed. We must be able to defend this desire clearly, directly, and crucially, without depending on the idea of gender. Clearly, directly, and crucially. We must be able to, and here comes the word, defend this desire. Andrea Long Chu. Go and take a flying leap at a rolling donut. Right, so what's this Alok twerp been up to? Here. Have a look.
They're so upset with us, saying that we keep on making up pronouns and genders and new words, and I just don't know how else to tell you this, but all words are made up. In fact, the words made up were made up. Plot twist. Invent was invented. And I don't want to yuck your yum. Like, if that's what you're into, ideologically opposed to made-up language, that's a brave stance. But I'm just asking for consistency. Wouldn't that mean you should stop speaking altogether?
Oh, yeah, right, okay. Yeah, this is the bloke who said that little girls can be kinky. You weirdo. You bloody weirdo. And finally, what's Canada been doing? Have a look at this sign. Cis this, cis that, trans. They've actually made actual women less of women than trans women. They really are bastards. Go on, go well. Just something to look at. Nutters! Links to all the necessities are in the dubris. Come and be a warrior teacher. I'll see you later. Ta-da!